Welcome, I'm the DeadwoodJedi. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video, and we are talking about the Hydra Creator Clash, and I have on with me Mr. YST. I kind of feel like you're like my most consistent rival when it comes to these events. We always seem to be kind of matched up against each other. And in fact, so much so, I don't know if you guys have been following my channel how much, but obviously I've been doing a free-to-play. We both have that, the one organized by Hades. And we made ourselves a little bet a few months ago, saying that whoever could get to Ultra Nightmare first and 4-key it would be gifted some rewards. I won. I've been pestering Mr. YST for some information. He still has yet to get it to me. But what he did was he sent me a care package, and I have it here today. So I've actually had this for a little while. I just haven't opened it. I haven't found a good time to open it, like on stream or something. And YST's tired of being pestered by people saying, you haven't given him his stuff. And that's not true. So, no, do you know
what it is? There was a time, right, where I got the mask first, and then I got something else, and then something else. And then I took my daughter out for a day out, and then we got you more stuff. And she's like, who are we shopping for? I said, it's a cowboy. so we went shopping for a cowboy, and I'm excited for your reaction, I guess. Hopefully, like what's in the mystery box should be fun.
I'm stoked to open it. I never get stuff in the mail anymore. So anyway, what we're gonna do, we're gonna talk about the Hydra Clash. We're gonna talk about the draft. We're gonna talk about our teams a little bit, like our experiences so far. It's Tuesday, so we're only a day in. And then I'm gonna open that at the end. So make sure to stick around to the end. We'll see. I'm gonna get my own Genzin mask. We'll see how this all goes down. Yes. I'm actually really excited to see what's in there. But But hey, let's start off talking about the draft. Obviously, the poll is still going on when we're recording this, so we still don't know the full seeding yet. I'm really excited to see what happens. Poll's very close, so hopefully we're going to get some more votes as time comes down to the wire here. But obviously, the bracket is there. It looks like you're going to be in the top half of the bracket, Mr. YST. Is there a competitor that you're actually looking to face in the bottom half of the bracket? Because right now it's pretty divided, right? We seem to have Scratch, yourself, Nub, and Hades seem to be the favorites, the four most popular. And then, me, Cold Brew, Odd One, and MTG seem to be at the bottom half. Is there a team that you're like, I don't know, that I want, the one that you're maybe don't want to face, or is there one that you're really excited to face?
The one I think is being most underrated is this entire draft is Cold Brew. I think Cold Brew's team is very, even with the poll and stuff, I think maybe even higher than me, honestly. Like, he's got Siffy, he's got Chris, he's got so much in that team. It's unbelievable. And even Teela with the buff, great burner. We've got increased speed from Michelle and damage, and Pivot of the Fawn for the provokes through the weak hits. The only one I would be wary about is Nishak Vermin Lord and going too heavy on the poisons when they turn from the bombs to the poisons, and then not being able to place the provoke might be an issue on Head of Decay. But apart from that, I think that team is very scary, and right now it's looking like me and Cold Brew are having at it. So we have to wait and see, man. We have to wait and see.
Well, that'll be interesting to see if that is who you end up going. Is there one of us bottom four competitors that you would prefer to face? Is there somebody that you're like, oh, easy pickings? Let me get that one.
Oh god. Well, not to see him on anyone's team. Well, in terms of fun wise, I would have loved to face up with Nub Raids, but he's not in the bottom, because it just would have been like a friends turn foe kind of scenario, because me and Nubs have done like a million collabs in the past year, so that would have been funny. But I think maybe Odd One would have been one that I think I could be competitive with, maybe. And I actually met with Odd One in real life as well, so I think it would have been fun for me as well. But even then, like, none of them are, I can't say that any of them are easier than the other. They're all so strong. Like, even Mighty Uko Cardio, that's a force to be reckoned with. I was saying that on my video earlier. There's some big picks in here. But even with MTG, like, I think Duoden is maybe one I might swap personally. But
I really, you know what's so funny? It's like, I've never used Duoden, but if you look at his kit, Real fun. Real fun
It is
little
really good. I
kit.
looked at it again. It's just the long cooldowns for the A2, right? It's that 4 turn for the buff
It
duration.
has nothing to do with it.
Uh,
That's not at all what Duodan's about. Duodan's all about that
the
A1, I
taunt.
think. I
Oh,
think
the
it's just about the
A1 remove.
A1.
Okay, the
Because
cleanse.
what you're
Yeah.
doing is you're getting a consistent cleanse kind of happening for your team, right? Like a lot of people use, obviously we bring in people like Duchess, or Datura, right? Rector Draft, people that can put up that perfect veil so you can deal with the head of torment, right? Inquisitor Shamail is another option. But another
Or 200
great
rock.
champion,
Let's go.
Hana Rock, right? Absolutely, right? It's a pain to deal with, but it's something you kind of have to deal with at some point. Thiffy is somebody that I use on my main accounts because she has a 50% chance of removing a buff on everybody, right? Well, Duodan's basically doing that same thing just on his attacks. And especially if he has counterattack, which he gives himself, it gives you more and more options to actually, remove those true fears or those fears from yourselves. It's a very interesting kind of ability. I don't know if it's strong enough. I don't know if it's really going to make it work here, right?
Yeah.
Because I've never tried it, but I just thought it was a very interesting option.
Yeah, I'm
be
all
real
for
curious.
it. Like these interesting picks is something that I love. Like even Rule the Huntmaster, I would have never thought of, or Ursula the
Right.
Mourner. I know she's great for Hydra, but she wasn't even on my list. I
A
love
really
this
good
kind of
pick.
stuff. Like with all these
Yeah.
quirky champions. Like for me, even with Marishka, I knew I could choose her. I knew the value of her, but you know me, I like to go quirky and not traditional,
Yeah, sure.
busted. Like, you know what I mean? That's why I got the Snick Tracks and the Coroners and stuff, because I really love showcasing champions that people look down upon, right? That's just kind of my thing. So I was gonna go for Pythion, but then someone called DeadwoodJedi, I think he just steals things sometimes. I don't know
What I
why,
do.
but
What I do.
yeah.
Well, actually, let's take that and talk a little bit about the draft itself. How did it go? Did it go the way you expected as far as the picks, like the first round choices, second round choices, that kind of thing?
To an extent, I didn't see Royal Guard or Husk getting picked straight away. I know the value of the max HP. I just feel like, for me anyway, I know that it's rather damage first because you need damage, I understand that. But at the same time, you need a way to deal with Head of Torment. You need a way to survive. And this is where Tuhanarak was that main one for me. I was crossing everything like, please do not take Tuhanarak away from me. Because she just brings in like increased speed, increased defense, decreased speed, the cleanse every turn like a Doom Priest, continuous heals. There's just so much to a kit that where I don't need multiple champions to fulfill that role for me. So that was very important, like finding a versatile champion. Like same with Mishinaki, he's my debuffer, but he's also my damage dealer, right? So
Yep.
yeah, man, that's kind of the ways that I was looking at it. But the max HP, I'm not against it. I just didn't like, for me, Hell Hades. I thought Chris was coming out or something for the first pick.
Yeah,
Like that's just in my opinion. I felt like those kind of void legendaries were popping out first, but yeah, man, can't disagree with Husk though. Like Husk is someone that I use on my main account in my main team, so I understand the value.
I know for myself, like my first two picks were damage, right? I went Royal Guard, I went Geo, and like for myself, I just knew there's a limited number of quality damage dealers for Hydra, and I was like, I need those right off the bat. Damage has never been my strongest suit either, so for my
So
account,
you didn't look at it in a way of like damage and then support as your first two to make your core team, and then just get whatever else you want after that.
Nope.
Is that how you looked at it? See, that's kind of what I did. I seen the back-to-back pick. I was like, one god tier support, one god tier damage and debuffer. That's just, and once I secured those, however bad it went for me, because I have to wait like 16 turns after that, it was like, I'm good with this.
My feeling was there's 4 damage dealers that I have access to that are consistent. I didn't have to worry about, right? So like that was going to be Royal Guard, that was going to be Husk, Geomancer, and Mishinaki. I'm like, look, I have those 4 champions. If I can get 2 of them, I'm pretty much set, right? At that point, I'm like, okay, I can just build the rest of the team now. And I figured there's a lot of champions that fill the different roles, and there's a lot of different roles. So as much as I was like, oh, I could lock down this or I could lock down that, I was also kind of in the position of like, I don't know that that's something I need to do. And I'll be honest, I kind of fell ass backwards into my team. I didn't have time to prep like I feel like the rest of you guys did necessarily. So, as not to say that you did, but you had the time to do. That wasn't never my focus. This is all about just getting this up and running. And so, looking back on it, actually I'm very happy that I did what I did. It's going to be an interesting approach because I think a lot of people kind of took the same approach you did, where it's like, let me fill the roles, let me, make sure everybody's supported, and I'm going to, take care of all the whatever eventuality comes out with the heads, I'll be set for it. Especially because I did do one test run or two yesterday, and I realized like the biggest thing is going to be damage. Like I need to put up more numbers than everybody else. That's the hard part. And so getting those damage champions early, I think actually was, like I said, fell ass backwards into it. Now, to be fair, in hindsight, I was really hoping you were going to take Geomancer and not Michinaki. I didn't think you had Michinaki, and that was my bad. So I should have, if I could do it again, I probably would have taken Michinaki first because the utility there, the hex, the decreased defense, the HP burn, single target, all that stuff would be things I would love to have on my team. I really like the Royal Guard.
This is where I was surprised with the Royal Guard. I really thought that you was gonna pop out a Michinaki first.
I should have. In hindsight, I should have.
Would you rather have a Michinaki than a Royal Guard? Like looking back.
Yes, 100%. Because my last pick, I was like, oh, I need an AoE decreased defense, and I would have much preferred being able to take a different utility choice there, or even just a different damage dealer than what I ended up going without having to be confined to the choices that I had available to me. So yeah, personally, I would much rather have taken Michinaki first, especially if I could have gone Royal Guard second. I don't know that, but I felt like maybe you would have taken him, and I was more scared of that because Michinaki is a great damage dealer. You do need some setup there, right? I didn't have another Hex champion. I didn't know if I'd get another Hex champion. So if you don't have that consistently, it can get a little dicey as far as being able to get all those extra attacks, right? The fact that I ended up getting Kantra means I wouldn't have to worry about that as much. Right now, like if I had my druthers, I would probably be facing you in the first round because if I could win, you have the one champion that I know I would want to steal and add to my team. Looking at some of the other teams, I'm like, I don't even know if that's possible. I don't know that I'm going to get out of the first round regardless of who I face. And your team is probably the scariest of the bunch out there. So I'm like, it's not like I'm eager to do that, but I was thinking, what champions could I steal potentially on that next round? Is that something that you've thought of at all? Is like, who would be good to add to your squad?
I wouldn't take anybody apart from, I think I would swap. If I was facing you, I would take out Walking Tomb Drang and put Geomancer in.
Yeah,
that's what I would do, and then that way I can have like that balance of damage reduction, the weaken, because my team has no weaken in it, and I've got no form of that, and I'm worried a little bit about that for the raw damage of Michinaki. So that's one thing that I do regret. And when I was looking at my champions last second, Walking Tomb Drang, he's a great champion. He's got the burn detonation A1
really
and
good.
Very phenomenal. But I just wish I could have implemented weaken in there. I just don't have any other options that can do it and fulfill a role for me.
Do you feel like weaken's an important debuff to bring in? I don't really look at it as, I always look at it as like a bonus, never like a primary.
Yeah, for the raw damage in particular, like if I'm looking to optimize Michinaki and take out those heads quickly,
that's a good point.
I want that weaken in there, man. Yeah. That extra damage is like you might not think it's impactful to the extent that it might be, but when you don't have it, I'm definitely seeing those Hydra heads like having a bit of a beer, chilling out for a bit, like, you can't kill me, YST, we're good. You know what I mean? And I'm just there struggling, like, please, let me kill you.
I was actually going to ask you this.
Yeah. I was going to ask you this question, right? How long are these streams going to be? Because we might be sitting a while, man.
Look, I know Hydra. Here's the funny thing about Hydra runs. They seem longer than they actually are, right?
I did a test run, okay? I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you thought the Clan Boss draft team was long, God's sake. I don't know, man. It's like, I feel bad for manualing it, because we're allowed to manual, right? It doesn't have to be auto.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to be sitting and manualing it, trying to optimize. And
I think everybody is.
It might be fun, but...
Well, you have to remember there's a couple things happening, right? One, that you're like, there's this competition factor that's going to keep everybody on edge. When we did it in the faction games, it was actually kind of nerve-wracking. It was way more interesting than I think people gave it credit for. The rest of us are still there, so it's not like if you're doing the run, you don't have to talk. The rest of us can fill that void. If you are, if like, let's say you're Nub and you're accustomed to kind of doing the running commentary, you can do that too. Like I think it's going to be way more interesting than we gave it, than you might think. And the RNG of it too is really, I think that's really fascinating. I remember from the faction games, everybody thought Nub had the team and then it came in the run, and he just had a horrible result. He had prepping for it, he had the best result, and then when it came to the run, it just fell apart. So I think that part's going to bring a little bit of excitement as well, which is going to be really fun. So, but I imagine it's probably going to be about somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes for every team, and there's four competitors each time. About 2 hours.
I wish it was that long. The whole stream you might need a whole stream just for
maybe longer. I don't know. I don't know. If you never die, you never die.
I'm addicted to damage. I'm addicted to damage mitigation, right? And I think it's the wrong thing for Hydra. I should have went for more raw damage or something. I don't know, man. It's a lot of focus.
A lot of focus.
But no,
it's a lot of focus.
It's important that basically I wanted to make a team that can counter any of the rotations. That was very important for me because we can't anticipate if it might change randomly or something. So I needed to make sure I've got all of the bases for every single rotation and have that covered. And I feel like I've done that pretty much to a T. Now it's just about optimization, trying to stay underneath that 500,000 cap. And if I do manage to make it out of the second round or whatever, which I don't know if I can. I'd say I'm decent at Hydra. I understand the mechanics, but I've never tried to beat somebody else at something or tried to beat a score. It's never been in my forte. It's always been clan boss, right? So it should be interesting. But if I see Scratch, you might not see me on that stream. I might be that way. Other direction. Like, no, thank you, man.
I'm not gonna lie. Scratch legitimately scares me. I didn't realize how bug Trunda is, and I'm just like, I'm a little nervous that he's just gonna kind of raw dog everything and just overpower everything.
He's gonna one shot every single boss. It might take a couple attempts, but he's gonna one shot it. He's gonna attack the decapitated heads, and I think he's gonna beat anyone's score within 30-40 turns.
How have they not fixed this Trunda bug? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me, right? Like,
is it a bug? I'm not too sure what it is. I've never tried it myself.
It's not normal.
It doesn't look normal, but it might be coded that way. I don't know.
Look, I mean, if this was normal, every arena DPS would be able to do this, right? And I don't know any others that can do the kind of damage. Like he was showing, we had a couple pictures he was showing on stream of people doing runs and like double Trunda teams in 18 seconds taking down Nightmare, or single Trunda teams in 2 minutes.
So the issue is, right? He hasn't even. It's not just the double Trunda. He's got the Duchess to revive if it goes wrong. He's got Supreme Gallic to do burn detonations. It's not like it's just a one-trick pony. If it fails, it fails. Like he's got some backup to get back in that fight, man. So
I know.
I can't see any. If anyone beats Scratch, I'll be very surprised. Put it that way. But if I had to bet on it, it's Scratch all the way. I think. Even though I have to back myself a bit, I can't see it going any other way so far. Anyway, I don't think it's possible, man. It depends.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be very tough.
Yeah. Do you know what? Personally, I seen the Trunda strategy before, but I didn't know it worked past hard. I knew it works on normal and hard. I didn't know that it could go up to Nightmare, and that's what my mistake was. And even until the end, until the screenshot was shown, I was just oblivious. I thought, oh, Trunda, that's interesting. Some decent damage. It'll take you like a few turns to kill it.
I don't think it's as effective the higher up you get, but it's still effective, obviously. So
with Scratch's gear, anything's possible, man.
Well, that's the thing. Is like I feel like he has the actual gear to make that a legitimate.
If anyone could do it, he can do it.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Any picks that you regret making, or are you pretty happy with everybody that you got? I really like your team overall. One
that everybody was kind of looking down upon was the Coroner. In hindsight, there was some better options, and don't be surprised if he switched out. Is what I would say.
That would make sense. Sense.
He's worked phenomenal. Like I worked him in a team, worked very well. I was happy with it, but I think there's another one out there that's available on the boards that can come in and do some work here, man.
You need a provoke champion, right? Or you need a AOE.
It's a provoker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coroner can do it, but I'm just scared of the RNG. Like it works for me behind the scenes, but if the RNG is not on my side and we're not locking out Head of Decay on time and the provoke set's not working, I might have to look towards that champion that needs some binding. You know who that is? I might as well just say everyone's gonna know. Morley Tankard is one that I'm thinking of, right?
She's amazing. I wanted to bring her in.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't have her, but on the test server, I can sacrifice champions to get her.
Oh my god! Wow, that is a move. That is a move. I like it. Wow. Why? This is a funny thing I think about doing these. Is like you start to watch how everybody just like, let me. I'm gonna get this. Like I'm gonna game this system best that I can. Like coming up with the rules, I gotta really lock this stuff down. But I like that. I don't have any problem with that.
I've never used Morley, so it's a gamble, and we haven't got a lot of time until the runs start happening. It's like
I'll tell you, she's actually really, really good. Really, really.
But would you value the Terminator increase more than Coroner hitting every single turn?
I mean, I do. I have 2 Coronars. I ran a double Coronar team for Hydra, right? For a little while. The whole idea was like, I'll put them in provoke sets and they'll, constantly they already have a provoke. It would still drop off sometimes. It still would drop off. If you can get decreased speed out there and you get Molly fast enough, because she gets that turn meter boost, she can actually keep that up by herself. It's a little iffy, but damn, she's good. And because it can be a 2-turn duration too, which really helps a lot. She's really, really good.
I was looking at her kit. It's even the Terminator field passive. It's like, it's not a joke, man. It's impactful.
It's not. It's stronger.
The issue is, right, I'm just thinking, like, Coroner hitting every turn for the duration I'll be lasting, hopefully anyway, if the run doesn't go bad. Is Coroner outperforming in terms of damage over that turn count? And he also helps out with the decreased attack and drop defense with Mishinaki in case it drops off. With like affinity disadvantages or whatever that may be. So he's helping me in more. He's helping me with more than just the provoke. And I don't really care if Decay gets a cleanse off like a couple times. It's not a big deal. It's as long as I got most of the coverage. So I'm gonna have to try it, but time is at the essence, and I don't know if I've got enough time to pull this out the bag of a Morley, man. I don't know. People might be reading this like, YST are silly, just put Morley in, but it's a lot. It's a lot to consider, right? These runs.
So this is the interesting thing I've been finding is like, the crafting a Hydra team is a full crafting. It's more complex even than Clan Boss, right? Demon Lord. Like I keep looking at, I've been looking at these teams. I'm like, okay, who can I take, right? I'm looking at Hades' team in case I get matched up against him. I'm like, well, I could take Husk. Wait, can I take Husk? Then who do I replace? Because I still need. I still need AoE decrease defense. Like all these things are tough. I could get Elv up, but then am I creating that out for Python? Like it doesn't matter who I'm talking about on here. Every champion where I'm like, oh, I could take them in on my team. Then I'm like, well, but can I? Because every other champion I have on my team is like filling a valuable role, right? There's no layoff. So it's like, I can't switch out Kimmy if I don't get somebody in that brings me decreased speed, right? And increased speed. Like I need that. So who am I switching out for that? I need a block buff and a provoke champion. Well, I can't switch out Cantor because she does both those things for me. So I need somebody to kind of fill those roles. It's a very, very, it's way more complex, way more difficult than I think. Looking into this.
Yeah, if I was to get past the first phase, I don't think I'd swap anything out. I think I'll just keep my team how it is, honestly.
It depends, right? There's some champions where it might be worth it, especially because
I don't have them. I would choose Lady Kimmy, I would choose Netmofar, but the reason why I didn't choose them is because I don't have them, and I have to go for second best. So, like people like Marishka is more than just a good healer. It's the restoration of max HP. Think about in these longer battles where your max HP might be getting reduced and you're getting swallowed. I'm not going to have an issue with max HP at all. I'm just surviving. And we've also got the strengthen on top of an ally protection, on top of a shield that cannot be removed. And both the strengthen and shields are protected. So I can never get stolen from Head of Mischief. It's like, I'm not getting robbed here. Like, there's no RNG that can strip that off. You know what I mean?
It's really, really good.
It's dirty combo. And then even the A1 always being ally attack of Marishka. So I can just keep sending someone in. It's
super nice, man. It's super nice. Yeah. I have to say, I came away from your team thinking that it's going to be one of the best out there.
I don't know, man.
I think this is your best draft that you've had. The last Clan Boss draft was pretty good though, but this is I think right up there. It's an incredibly good team that you have going on, and I'm really interested to see. The fact that you can swap out one champion, I think can make all the difference in the world. And I think that's something, if you win, if you're able to steal a champion, keep that in mind too. Like you might steal one, but then you can also swap one too, so you can make a 2 champion change instead of just one. That can actually be could be pretty interesting. But
it's.
I'm just throwing it out there, just letting you know. Hey,
I'm happy you did this Hydra competition because I've never been a Hydra person, and it's taking me out of my comfort zone. And it's really like me doing this draft. It's me just thinking, is this gonna work? Like, I don't know if it's gonna work, like to an extent I wanted to, but I just tried to find the cool mechanics. I do understand the game, right? I understand Hydra. This is the first time hopefully it'll bring out a love for me for Hydra boss after this. So actually commend you for involving me in this one. It should be exciting, man. Even if I do lose tremendously.
I'm super happy that you're able to be a part of it. It's no fun if the people with it aren't fun. And you're always very fun. So I'm really excited about it. All right, look. I don't want to keep you here forever. Let's I got this box.
Before the box, I needed to ask you about a pick that you did.
Okay.
Miss Rider Dahi. That shocked me.
So
what was the thinking? No, I genuinely want to know the thinking behind that. Like, I know Miss Rider Dahi's a great champion, extra turns, does some good debuffs, whatever that may be.
Okay.
What made you choose him over anyone else here? This reminds me of Trumble, man. What's going on?
I struggled. Exactly the same. First off, don't have him on my test server, so I have to pull shards if I'm going to even try and get him. Right?
It's a nub raids part 2.
100%. I'm so stupid. Secondly, and it's the same champion. That's the hilarious part. Secondly, so my thinking behind it was I needed AoE decreased defense. It's the one thing I was really missing. Right? When it comes to, I mean, my God. Cantra is so good, like so good, because block buffs, decrease speed, weaken, heal reduction, decrease attack. She brings like every decrease accuracy, all the like secondary debuffs that you want. So like if I can get her going long enough, she's insane. But you do have to get her going, right? That's the hard part with her. But once you get her rolling, it's insane. The debuffs never fall. The one thing she doesn't bring is decreased defense. The one thing she doesn't bring. And I was struggling because there's so many things I wanted. But I was like, okay, well, I need decreased defense. And then so I was thinking about a variety of champions. But Miss Rider Dahi kind of stood out to me primarily because I'm like, oh, I know this is a good damage dealer. It could be kind of interesting. I don't know. And also because I was taking forever and I was like, I don't know who to freaking pick. So let's jump in on this one and try it out. I mean, I don't know. I intend to try to pull and test them out.
What I was worried about with Miss Rider for you is the extra turns, right? And if you haven't got a good buff coverage, is he gonna be outdoing your buffs and then being easily targeted for nukes because you'll be
this is actually the interesting thing about this team that I have. I've hardly any buffs around them. I've got Pythion. That's mostly it. The only other buffer is going to be Lady Kimmy. That's it. So Miss Rider Dahi can run through all the buffs that he wants. Totally fine by me because nobody's gonna have a lot of them on. Which I think is actually kind of interesting. And the cool thing with Pythion is he has that AoE revive. So if I have champions die, it's not actually a bad thing for me. We can hopefully start, just swapping who's about to be eaten, right? And so hopefully maybe nobody gets eaten for a while. Also the other thing I'm finding is like on the test server, I get to use all my gear. The player power limit is not much of a limit for my team with these epics, so I can actually build all my champions pretty stacked as far as like survivability or damage, whatever I need. And so that kind of opens up some possibilities. And so having someone like Miss Rider could be really interesting. Now, chances are I'm going to pull Miss Rider out of the team and bring in somebody else that I have my eye on. But, it's just, it's not a bad champion. Definitely somebody, I like. I've been enjoying using.
I'll be interested to see Miss Rider if you choose him, though. It'll be fun, I think.
Yeah. I think so. We'll see. I don't know. But
here we go.
But I've got the box.
Oh, it's been like a month now, guys. He's had it. It's just been sitting there.
Stuff in here.
I hope everything in there's okay now.
I do too. I'm really excited to get into this. It's expertly wrapped. Professional job here.
Yeah. George, what happened, right? I was telling you, I put some more stuff in there, and it was like they're trying to charge me extra money for such small items, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to take it out. It was like an extra £100 for one item. I was like, nope.
Oh no.
I couldn't do that to the US, man.
There's so much stuff in here. Oh my gosh, guys, this is look at that, huh? It's filled to the brim. All right, so we got some of England's finest here. We've got some. All right, we do obviously have the Genzin mask. Oh, this thing looks amazing too. All right, we're gonna save this. I'll put this on towards the end here. But look, we got some Werthers. Who doesn't like some Werthers? We got some Yorkshire
a British accent now.
Official British tea here. I love that.
Yes.
Okay. PG
I had to
tips
get you both because
tea, right?
on the stream, PG tips is my favorite, but everyone in their comments are saying Yorkshire tea, so I had to get you both so you could judge for yourself which one you like more.
I like it. I like it. I will. Okay. Ooh, Maltesers.
Maltesers. Hopefully they don't have this stuff in the US. I tried to choose some random stuff.
I think we have similar stuff, but not the exact. I've never seen any of these. Cadbury fudge. Okay.
So this was a childhood favorite of mine. So after school, you get them for like 5 pence and then happy days.
I appreciate that. Yorkie original. I don't know what is that.
Do you know what? Back in the day, I'm not sure if they still do it, but it used to be called the man's chocolate, and I'm not sure if they took it off as the branding. So it used to be like a man's chocolate, Yorkie, like that. But I don't know if they took it off. And they used to have like a little logo of like a woman crossed out of like a no entry.
Wow.
Maybe they took it off. I don't know.
I love the gender branding for things like chocolate. It's chocolate. We all love it.
Relax on it, like just eat it.
Right? Toblerone? Yeah, everybody loves Toblerone. That's a classic. All right, and then look at this. Oh, this is going on the desk. We've got a little Mandalorian.
Yes.
Oh, thank you for that. That's definitely going on the desk here. Oh,
do you know what it was? The Mandalorian was like one of the first times that I actually spoke to you properly on stream when we were speaking about the Mando series. So I thought, that'd be cool to just steal Mando one.
Oh man, see, and then you one up me for the competition. Guys, look at this. It's a trophy. He got me a trophy. I don't know. I don't think you guys can see it there, but it says free to play 2023 Clan Boss winner DeadwoodJedi.
Yes.
You, sir. Above and beyond, Mr. YST. Thank you. All right, I gotta try that.
So with the mask, I wanted to get you a different one, but you said that you got a big face.
I do.
It fits pretty decent. I signed it as well for you on the bottom. There's a YST on it. Official now. It should be on the bottom left or right on the front. Yes.
Here, YST.
Let's go.
That's awesome. This is amazing. All right, hold on. I gotta put this on before we sign out for today.
Does it fit? Or is it too big?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, let's go. Well,
guys, this has been a treat. Mr. YST, thank you so much for coming on. Make sure to check out his links in the pinned comment description of this video, if you can understand me. We're going to have round 1 coming up Thursday and Friday this week. Check the website to find out the details on the times and the seatings. And thanks again, man. This is amazing. The best thing I've ever
anytime.
Best thing I've ever won. Guys,
you got to sleep with the now.
This is the Genzin Jedi. It's the Genzin Jedi. Till next we meet. Have a good one.